Have you ever wondered why people with less talent or education than you seem to have much more financial success? It's not luck, and it's definitely not justice. It is applied knowledge. Money has a language of its own, and if you don't speak it, you will always be at a disadvantage, no matter how many degrees hang on your wall. Today, we are going to break the myth that you need money to make money, and I'm going to hand you the map to escape the rat race. And to prove to you that your past does not dictate your future, I want to start with a story of absolute rejection that turned into a global fortune. Welcome to Money Talk. Imagine for a moment a young man. School is a disaster for him. He fails exam after exam. He looks for a job at KFC, and out of 24 applicants, he is the only one rejected. He tries at McDonald's and gets fired within a few days. His dream? To study at Harvard. He applies once, twice, 3 times, up to 10 times. 10 times the door is slammed in his face. Years later, he decides to become an entrepreneur. He travels to Silicon Valley, the mecca of innovation, looking for someone to believe in his idea. The answer is unanimous, a resounding no. Now, let's be honest. If this were a movie script, what future would you expect for him? Probably one full of financial difficulties, right? Well, that young man is Jack Ma, the founder of the giant Alibaba, and one of the richest men on the planet. How is this possible? The answer is not in his academic record, but in his financial intelligence. Now ask yourself, how many Jack Ma's have fallen by the wayside because they believe that since they weren't good at school, they wouldn't be good at life either? The world is full of wasted talent because we confuse intellectual capacity with financial capacity. Think of the genius Nikola Tesla, a man who changed the world with his inventions but died in absolute poverty. Or sports and music stars who earned millions and lost it all in the blink of an eye. The problem was not their talent for generating money, but their lack of ability to manage, protect, and multiply it. This confusion starts at home and in how we are educated about money. And to illustrate this, there is no better example than the story of 2 very different men who served as mentors to Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki explains it masterfully with the example of his 2 dads. One, his biological father, a brilliant academic with an important government position, but with a low financial IQ. He was his poor dad. His mindset regarding money was one of fear and scarcity. Phrases like, "I can't afford it," or "money is the root of all evil," were his daily bread. For him, the safe path was a good job, a steady paycheck, and a pension. The other, his best friend's father, didn't have as many studies, but had an incredible mind for business. He was his rich dad. His mindset was one of abundance and opportunity. He never said, "I can't afford it," but instead asked himself, "How can I afford it?" That simple question opened his mind to find solutions, instead of closing down before obstacles. Rich Dad understood the fundamental difference between an asset, something that puts money in your pocket, and a liability, something that takes money out of your pocket. The middle class buys liabilities thinking they are assets, like a house that is too big or a luxury car, while the rich use their money to buy assets that generate more money. The lesson is crushing. Academic intelligence does not guarantee wealth. What really moves the needle is your financial intelligence, the ability to solve money problems. Think of it this way. If 2 people earn $10,000 a year, but one legally pays 20% in taxes and the other 40%, who is financially smarter? The one who understands that the money game has rules and has learned to use them to their favor. And here comes the good part. This intelligence is not innate, it is trained. Kiyosaki divides it into 5 muscles, or financial IQs, that, if you develop them, will change your life completely. Ready to start training? Financial IQ number 1, making more money, the art of creating value. Everyone tells you to save and cut expenses. And yes, it's important, but that is playing defense. Saving has a limit. Generating income has none, except for the one your own mind sets. The rich don't get rich by cutting out their morning coffee. They get rich because they learn to solve problems on a large scale. A doctor solves health problems, one-on-one. A lawyer solves legal problems, case by case. An entrepreneur creates a system that solves a market need for thousands or millions of people. The key question is, what problem can you solve? Out there is an ocean of people with problems who are willing to pay for someone to solve them. What skill do you have? What are you passionate about? What do you do incredibly well? Dedicate your free time to polishing that talent. It's not just about having a side hustle. It's about going from being an amateur to an expert. When you are an expert, money follows the value you offer. Here it is fundamental to understand Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. He divides people into 4 categories based on how they generate their income. E, employee. You have a job. You trade your time for money. You seek security. The main value is stability. S, self-employed small business. You are your own boss. You are the system. If you don't work, you don't earn. You seek independence. The main value is perfection and control over your work. B, business owner. You have a system and people working for you. You can go on vacation and keep earning money. You seek to create assets and leverage. I, investor. Your money works for you. You make money with money. You seek financial freedom. Most of us are on the left side, E and S. The goal of financial intelligence is to help you cross to the right side, B and I. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow, but you can start building a small system, a part-time business, a blog, a YouTube channel, or investing small amounts so your money starts working for you. The first step to move from E to B, for example, is to start thinking in systems. How could you do your current work so that it doesn't depend 100% on you? Can you document processes? Can you delegate something? That is the germ of a business owner's thinking. When you increase your income, it is not to inflate your expenses. It is to buy assets, things that put money in your pocket without you having to be present. Dividend-paying stocks, a rented property, an automated online business. This is how your net worth, what you own minus what you owe, starts to grow like a snowball. Financial IQ number 2, protecting your money, the anti-predator shield. Making money is exciting, but do you know what is more important? Keeping it. Warren Buffett's first rule is don't lose money, and the second is don't forget rule number 1. Imagine you build an incredible sandcastle. If you don't build a wall to protect it from the waves, your effort will have been for nothing. It's the same with money. As soon as you start accumulating it, financial predators will appear. The bank. They will offer you credit cards with higher limits, loans, mortgages. Their business is for you to get into debt. The government. This is the biggest predator of all. Employees pay the most taxes because they are taxed before they even see the money. Business owners, quadrants B11, earn, spend on the business, deductible expenses, and then pay taxes on what is left. It is a fundamental difference that saves you a fortune. Learning about the different categories of income, earned, portfolio, and passive, and how they are taxed is crucial. Family and friends. They will appear out of nowhere with the business of the century or asking you to solve their lives. Unscrupulous advisors. They will sell you financial products with high commissions that benefit them, not you. Protecting your money means understanding taxes, creating legal structures like an LLC to separate your personal assets from your business assets, and having the knowledge to know who to listen to and who to ignore. It also implies using tools like insurance. Life, health, or liability insurance is not an expense. It is an investment in protection that prevents an unforeseen event from destroying everything you have built. It's not about being stingy, it's about being smart. Financial IQ number 3, budgeting your money, the GPS of your wealth. A budget is not a prison for your money. It is a plan to tell it where to go instead of wondering where it went. Many people hate budgeting because they see it as a restriction. You have to change that mindset. A budget is the tool that gives you the freedom to spend on what really matters to you without guilt. There are 2 types of budgets. Deficit budget. You spend more than you earn. If you are here, your absolute priority is to eliminate consumer debt, credit cards, personal loans, and cut unnecessary expenses. Going into debt to cover expenses is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Surplus budget. You earn more than you spend. Congratulations. You are on the right path. Now, the golden rule, pay yourself first. Before paying bills, before going out to dinner, a part of that surplus goes directly to a savings or investment account. Automate it. Treat it as if it were the most important bill of the month. To make it practical, you can use methods like the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income for needs, housing, food, transport, 30% for wants, leisure, hobbies, vacations, and 20% for savings and investment. If that doesn't work for you, try zero-based budgeting, where every dollar has a job assigned at the beginning of the month. The important thing is to find a system that works for you and be consistent. Beware of lifestyle inflation, the tendency to increase your expenses every time you get a raise. If your salary goes up 10%, don't increase your spending by 10%. Increase your savings and investment rate. That is the key to accelerating your path to wealth. Financial IQ number 4, leveraging your money, the multiplier superpower. Leverage is simply doing more with less. It is the difference between digging a hole with your hands and using an excavator. It is the secret to accelerated wealth creation. Many people believe that it takes money to make money. The reality is that you can use other people's money, OPM. The clearest example is real estate. With only a small part, the down payment, you can control a high-value asset using the bank's money. This is called good debt. Debt that is used to buy an asset that generates income and pays for itself. For example, a mortgage on an apartment that is paid by the rent. Bad debt is what you use to buy liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket, like financing a vacation or an expensive car. Other people's time, OPT. When an entrepreneur hires employees, they are leveraging their time to grow the business. They can't do it all alone. Technology and systems. Today, this is one of the biggest forms of leverage. You can create software, an online course, or an e-commerce store once, and sell it thousands of times with almost zero marginal cost. Let's look at the debt example again. Case 1, without leverage. You invest $10,000 out of your pocket and get a 20% return. You earn $2,000. Case 2, with leverage. You invest your same $10,000, but you borrow another $10,000 from the bank at 10% interest. Good debt. Now you invest $20,000. The 20% return is $4,000. You pay the $1,000 interest to the bank, and you are left with $3,000 profit. Using the same amount of your money, you have earned 50% more. That is the power of smart debt. But be careful. Leverage is a double-edged sword. Just as it magnifies gains, it also magnifies losses. That is why it is vital to use it only when you have the knowledge. Financial IQ number 5. Increasing your financial information, the most valuable asset. Your greatest wealth is not in your bank account. It is between your ears. Money comes and goes, but the knowledge of how to generate it stays with you forever. Investing in the stock market, real estate, or a business without knowing what you are doing is not investing, it is gambling. And the house, the market, always wins against gamblers. Today we are drowning in information but starving for wisdom. Your mission is to learn to differentiate facts from opinions. Opinion. This cryptocurrency will make you a millionaire. It is emotional, vague, and promises quick results. Fact. Analyzing the project, the team, the technology, the financial statements, and the numbers behind that cryptocurrency. It is analytical, requires effort, and is based on data. Don't believe in gurus who promise to make you rich overnight. True financial education is a continuous process. Educate yourself. Read fundamental books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich. Listen to podcasts, watch documentaries. Surround yourself with the best. Join communities, attend seminars, find a mentor. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Make sure they elevate you. Create your own mastermind or circle of genius. Start small. You don't have to invest thousands of dollars. Start with $50 a month. The goal is not to get rich at the beginning, but to learn the process and gain experience. Make cheap mistakes and learn from them. The best way to learn is by doing. As Kiyosaki says, the important thing is not the asset, but what you know about that asset. Your next move. The traditional education system prepares us to be employees, not to be owners of our financial future. Therefore, the responsibility is 100% yours. Developing your financial intelligence is not an option. It is a necessity if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck and build a life of true freedom. Financial freedom does not mean having a yacht. It means having options. The option to leave a job you don't like. The option to spend more time with your family. The option to pursue your passions without worrying about bills. Now that you know the 5 pillars, don't get overwhelmed. The key is consistent action. Here's a 30-day plan to start. Week 1. Diagnosis and mindset. Day 1. Calculate your net worth, assets minus liabilities. Be brutally honest. This is your starting snapshot. Days 2 to 7. Track every penny you spend. Use an app or a notebook. The goal is awareness. Reading. Read the first 3 chapters of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Week 2, getting organized, budget and protection. Day 8. With the data from week 1, create your first budget using the 50-30-20 rule. Adjust it to your reality. Day 10. Identify a bad debt, the one with the highest interest, and create a plan to attack it. Day 12. Review your insurance policies. Are you adequately covered? Call your insurer if you have doubts. Day 14. Automate your pay yourself first. Set up an automatic transfer to your savings account for the day after you get paid. Week 3. Generating more. Income and assets. Day 15. Make a list of 10 problems you could solve with your current skills. Day 17. Choose one of those problems and sketch a simple idea of how you could offer a solution, a service, a small product. Day 20. Open an account with a low-cost broker and research an ETF that tracks a global index, like the S&P 500. You don't have to invest yet, just get familiar with the platform. Week 4. Education and community, leverage and knowledge. Day 22. Listen to a podcast on personal finance or investing while commuting or exercising. Day 25. Talk to a friend or family member about what you're learning. Explaining concepts is a great way to reinforce them. Day 28. Look for an online or in-person event on finance or entrepreneurship in your city. Sign up. Day 30. Check your net worth again. Compare it with day 1. Celebrate the progress, no matter how small, and set your goals for the next 30 days. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your journey to financial freedom starts today. Tell me in the comments, which of these steps are you going to take first?